there. Anyways, guys, we're going to move on to religion and peace. So if you are not doing SOR2, you can just not worry about this. I am going to go back to structure and kind of structuring responses on some of the core religions, but for this next section, it's just really going to quickly talk about religion and peace in case anyone here watching is doing SOR2. So religion and peace has a few key ideas to balance, which seems really stressful at first, but realistically, it's just sacred texts, teachings of peace, inner peace, and world peace. Peace comes up in every single dot point. So religion and peace is literally about peace, and I really recommend structuring your paragraphs based on peace. That's because sacred texts feed into the teachings, and you guys would have seen that in your depth studies as well. Like the sacred texts contain the teachings, which then feed the conceptions of the world, and in this case for religion and peace, feed into inner peace. The most important thing to understand, the connection between inner peace and world peace, is that if you have inner peace, you are contributing to world peace. If we all had inner peace, the most peaceful world ever. And it all starts with the individual. So by attaining inner peace, you can then go out into the world and contribute to world peace. And that's why they say like people who are in like low points in their life like are going to drag others down, and they're obviously contributing to a lack of world peace. But if you are in peace with yourself, you're not going to feel the need to judge others, to gossip about others, to hate on anyone. And by doing that, you're contributing to world peace. Live, laugh, love, peace. We love peace here. Anyways, unlike your ethical teachings, your teachings aren't the topic or thesis of your paragraph. It's actually peace. So you can split it up nice and easily. It's up to you. You can do 2 paragraphs on inner peace, 1 on world peace. You can do 2 paragraphs inner peace, 2 on world peace. It's up to you. And you can still signpost your primary teaching. You want to link like a primary teaching about peace, but I think having it based on inner peace or world peace instead of here's a paragraph on this teaching and let me kind of link it, I feel like it just works a lot better for the module and how the syllabus is formed. Other than that, the structure within the paragraphs is fairly similar. So it's what's the teaching, where does it come from, what's an example in the religious world, and how does it really link to the religion's paradigm and the big ideas. Contemporary links are really important. So making those real life and real world links are a general way to kind of boost up your marks and sit you at a band 6. And in religion and peace, if you don't include contemporary examples, it's not that you can't, like, you're not going to pass, but for the band 6, it's what they're expecting. And it just shows real knowledge of, especially like examples of that teaching and how it's contributing to inner peace, and real examples of contemporary inner peace and contemporary world peace. So I really like to think back to year 11 SOR when I'm talking about religion and peace and all the focus on like what makes a living and dynamic religion, because that all overlaps back to kind of those contemporary examples and like how do we live out this religion and what adherents can do in their everyday life to live that out. Now, if you didn't want to structure it by piece, and if you're planning on structuring it by teaching, that's also fine, but I just recommend picking 2 key teachings of peace and then discussing how it can achieve both inner and world peace. So if you are going to have one paragraph on one teaching and another paragraph on another, just make sure within each of them you're linking it to inner and world peace. And naturally, inner and world peace are always going to interline because you have inner peace, you're contributing to world peace. And a good response kind of synthesizes the methods, and they link inner peace to world peace, and they kind of separate the teachings to show that they all achieve the same goal, which is peace, but also just the overall paradigm of the religion, which is like the main like big belief and kind of like the core values. We're going to look at an example. So there was a 800s user who actually submitted this example essay. But if you wanted more examples, we have a lot online and people are just kind of submitting their past work. But this is an example of one for religion and peace about Christianity and Islam. You can see that they're talking about how it promotes an understanding of peace through its teachings, ethics, and rituals amongst its adherents. It's bringing up the Bible and the Quran and linking them, and then it's also linking it to peace. As well as this, the peace teachings also encourage Christians and Muslims alike to work for world peace to make the world a better place through various religious groups and organizations. Then it starts with kind of like a thesis statement, about the sacred text. Then it's getting into the Christian teachings. And then it's got the Christian quote. This one actually specifically, if I'm looking right, is specifically on Christianity. So it's up to you if you'd like to do it this way or if you'd like to go back and forth. Like you could bring in this exemplar here. I think we have, no, just the one page. This exemplar here is putting all the quotes together. So it's got both Christianity quotes and then it's got the next two Islam quotes within the same paragraph. But if you wanted, you could go one Christianity quote, here's the difference, or here's how Islam does, and here's another Christianity, and here's how Islam. But that's also not necessary. Another option to do, and what I did, I just separated my paragraphs. So I just had one full paragraph on Christianity, and then I did Buddhism and Hinduism. So I had one paragraph on Buddhism and then another paragraph on Hinduism.